things, global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned.
Hello beautiful people, welcome back to Global Happenings Today YouTube channel. APC chieftains calls across the Federation of Nigeria are beginning to cry out. It's getting very interesting, it's getting real to them. And some few days back, it was Shettima that was already telling the politicians to please be very careful that Nigerians are giving them max window period of 10 years, of which the poor and the average Nigerians on the street are no longer smiling. Each time they go with a bulletproof card, anger is in their faces, and they're saying we got just 10 years max to correct our wrong and give them good governance, or else, well, it looks like more of top APC chieftains are speaking up, and the northerners are really crying out that the way Bola Ahmed Tinubu is treating them, this is not what they bargained for. We're going to find out exactly the warnings they're giving to APC, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. 2027 may not be business as usual and may not be a ride to the park as he thinks. Possibly power will likely change hands. But before we go to the newspaper to find out what it is, they're already warning Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Like and subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button. Beside it, you see a bell notification icon. Please go ahead, click on it to get notified as soon as you update our channel on YouTube. Now, the former Director General of the Progressive Governors Forum, that's PGF, Dr. Salihu Lukman, has said that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is at risk of losing a re-election in 2027. Now, addressing journalists in Abuja, Lukman hinted of an impending rebellion among the ranks of the party in no distant time from now. Now, Lukman, who resigned his position as APC National Vice Chairman, Northwest, argued that the APC-led administration is not living up to the yearnings and aspirations of Nigerians. I quote him word for word. He said, and I quote, "I think we must be honest, and this is the point I say to our leaders without any inhibition. At the moment, our democracy is not responsive enough. And as a party of vision to be progressive, it is certainly not yet progressive," he claimed. And I think I'm worried that our leaders have become very comfortable to imagine that they can do anything and get away with it. We must appeal to our leaders that things are almost getting out of hand at the rate at which we are going under a party that is envisioned to be progressive. We are likely going to start witnessing rebellion, and if care is not taken, by 2027 we will be kicked out of office, which means taking Nigeria back to where it was in 2015. It's not even better. Let's continue. I think we owe our leader the responsibility, or President Asiwaju, the responsibility to tell him the honest truth. The Kaduna-born politician explained that his book titled APC and Transition Politics, bill to be launched at the Yaradua Center, Abuja, was aimed at repositioning the party ahead of 2027 polls. He said, as a strong supporter of President Tinubu, he cannot sit by to watch things go out of hand as a founding member of the APC. He noted, "So having produced the book, my first challenge was to say, okay, how do I set up a platform using the book to get our leaders to have some deeper reflection and begin to now come up with strategies and to engage both President Asiwaju and all elected leaders produced by the party to really go back to the drawing board and readjust in such a way that they see themselves as truly representatives of Nigerians, not emperors presiding over subjects. Nigerians are not the subject of elected representatives." Now, having said all of these, and which is why in the last piece I released out, I try to show some of my background. My position generally is that we must not be in politics simply because we want to earn a living. Life is difficult. People who ordinarily should not be struggling for food are today struggling for food. And this should not be happening under the leadership of a party that is envisaged to be progressive. And I keep saying, I don't have any question. I believe Asiwaju is a committed Democrat and is a progressive politician. And I believe he will have no difficulty relating with the issues I am raising. And in terms of reforming democracy, it's not about just to serve people who are in office now. It's to serve Nigerians. Our democracy must be responsive to the point that Nigerians can make a demand and elected leaders who listen to the demand of Nigerians and translate that into policies of government or decisions of government in the way that begins to meet the expectations of Nigerians. That is the value of democracy. Once democracy cannot achieve that, then we have a problem. Well, this is coming from an APC chieftain, a former national vice chairman, Northern region. I could state member that Northerners are already getting, top Northern APC members are already getting angry that Bola Tinubu is no longer, looking their ways, not picking their call and all that. But they've been trying to keep quiet about it, as in trying to do it within the party. But it's escalating, and this man is literally telling Nigerians, look, we can't hide this issue of APC already having divisions in rank and file. And some of those who are already in rulership are really like emperors. They're not even ruling as if they were employed by Nigerians and they are the employee. In fact, they're really not even like employers. They're really like emperors. And they're saying at some point, there will be a snap and it will give. And the likelihood that snatch it, run away with it, may not work in 2027. And I feel that the Northerners are feeling a bit cheated over this whole matter because, look, a typical example, even if they don't want to say anything, a typical example is what happened during the election, before the election, during their campaign within the party, trying to get a flag bearer. The role El-Rufai played, the former Kaduna State Governor El-Rufai played, where he stood his ground, went against his people, insisted that it was turn of the South. I could remember that Lawan, the then president and Senate president of Nigeria, picked the form and wanted to run against Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, but he stood his ground. Former Kaduna State Governor El-Rufai insisted that it was turn of the South and we must, though it was unwritten constitution, but we must maintain it for the sake of unity and sanctity of the country. He went against his people. He was able to canvass vote for his people against for Asiwaju, and eventually Asiwaju emerged. Of course, so other politics played out. Then he emerged as the president. One would literally expect that it's a case of always rewarding loyalty and leadership and all that. One would expect that El-Rufai would have been one of the ministers he was supposed to be, really, but at some point something gave. He left the country, and ever since he has been very quiet. And I can assure you, I don't think, even if he doesn't say anything, I know he's not a happy person. Being out of the government that he worked for, he worked really to bring in. I could remember during this Mefele issue of Naira redesign and all that, where we're literally buying Naira in Nigeria. It's so terrible. And I could remember also that El-Rufai told his people in Kaduna, do not sell your money, don't worry, don't even fret. When Asiwaju enters, this money will be valid. Today, Asiwaju is in, and those monies are valid. So these are strong things that he even did for his people, made sure that the hardship will not be so much. He went even against Buhari. So many people even called it treasonable felony, that he should have been tried for treason for going against what the president then Buhari said. But then he didn't care because he was so loyal to the vision of Asiwaju. To think that he was not given any position. I'm not an APC member. I'm not fighting for El-Rufai, but I'm looking at the scenario, and this is another. It's just a matter of time. It will give, and we're going to be here to report it. That's going to wrap it up. Let's meet in our comment section. Also, take.